two, one, and blast off. Hello and welcome to Red Pride Stadium on the campus of Plainfield High School. I'm Steve McAtee, and I'll be bringing you all the action as your number 6 ranked Plainfield Quakers challenge the arch rival Franklin Grizzly Cubs in Week 7 of the Indiana high school football season. Well, last week your Quakers suffered their first loss of the season against the only team to beat them the last 2 seasons, the arch rival Decatur Central Hawks. Last season, Plainfield went 9-2, their only losses being to Decatur Central first 41-21 in Week 6 of the regular season, then 35-7 in the sectional championship game. Last week, the Quakers hung tough for much of the game, but fell 37-19. After Decatur Central scored a touchdown and two-point conversion on its first possession to take an 8-0 lead, Plainfield quickly struck back with a 67-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Sabank to Xander Natom, and the extra point by Ethan Edwards made the score 8-7. The Quakers then took the lead early in the second quarter on a trick play, a 7-yard rush by wide receiver Cohen Vanderbush. The extra point failed, making the score 13-8. However, Plainfield did not score offensively again. Superstar running back Luke Starnes was relatively contained, rushing 17 times for 72 yards and receiving 3 passes for 26 yards. He failed to get 100 all-purpose yards for the first time this season, falling just short with 98. And Sabank did not establish enough of a passing offense to take defensive pressure away from Starnes. Sabank completed 15 of 36 passes for 166 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Meanwhile, Decatur Central alternated about equally between 2 quarterbacks. Senior superstar Bo Polston, in his second game back after missing 3 games with a shoulder injury, threw mostly short passes and had modest statistics, completing 8 of 14 passes for 92 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. But senior option quarterback Braylon Morris rushed 9 times for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, and senior running backs Kashmir Hicks and Pharrell Carter each added a rushing touchdown. And at that, we will pause for the national anthem. Well, thank you to the Plainfield Quakers marching band for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And now back to our pregame show, for pregame segment, rather. Um, After Plainfield's 13-8 lead, Decatur Central scored 21 unanswered points before a Polston pass was intercepted and returned for a touchdown by Tayshawn Callahan midway through the fourth quarter, making the score 31-19 after a failed 2-point conversion. But after a failed onside kick, Polston passed 27 yards to Hicks for a touchdown that ended the scoring. Now 5-1, Plainfield tries to get back on track tonight as they host the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, who the game with a record 3-3, but are just 3 plays away from being 6-0. Franklin started off with non-conference wins over Southport 38-0 and Mount Vernon Fortville 52-13. But the Grizzly Cubs started off mid-state conference play with 3 consecutive one-possession losses: 15-7 to Perry Meridian, 21-14 to Whiteland, and 42-41 to Martinsville. They finally got their first conference win last week, 28-7 over Mooresville. Now, so far this season, Plainfield has rushed 198 times and passed 175 times, a ratio of 1.1 to 1. Junior quarterback Bryce Sabank, a second-year starter, has completed 105 out of 175 passes, and even 60%, for 1,248 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. His leading receiver is the biggest surprise on the team, junior Xander Natam, who has 41 receptions, 588 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He's followed by sophomore Cohen Vanderbush with 16 receptions for 192 yards and 1 touchdown. Senior running back Luke Starnes with 13 for 178 and 1 touchdown. Senior Mason Deers with 12 for 98 and 1 touchdown. And sophomore Austin Ward with 10 for 80 and 2 touchdowns. On the ground, senior and 3-year starter Luke Starnes has rushed 137 times for 930 yards and 10 touchdowns. He now has 300. He now has 3,454 career rushing yards, 220 behind Zane Fakes for the all-time school record. In addition, quarterback Bryce Sabonk has rushed 25 times for 94 yards and 1 touchdown, followed by senior Corin McGill with 22 for 82. Meanwhile, Franklin has rushed 207 times and passed 109 times, a ratio of 1.9 to 1. Senior quarterback Grayson Betts has completed 58 of 109 passes, 53.2%, for 754 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. His leading receiver is junior Cole Bowker, who has 10 receptions for 217 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's followed by junior Andrew Wirtz with 12 receptions for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. Senior Braden Bonesteel with 14 for 182, and junior Corey Taunt with 20 for 127. On the ground, the Grizzly Cubs are led by aforementioned junior Corey Taunt, who's rushed 140 times for 774 yards and 11 touchdowns. He's followed by quarterback Grayson Betts with 46 rushes for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. Head coach for Plainfield is Tyler Bless, who's 20-7 in his third season with the Quakers. Head coach for Franklin is Chris Cole, who's 37-51 in his ninth season with the Grizzly Cubs and 116-94 in his 20th season overall. He previously served 11 seasons here in Hendricks County as head coach of Tri-West, leading the Bruins to the Class 3A state championship back in 2014. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Plainfield Franklin coming at you live under the Friday night lights. Next. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to thank them and we hope you will support them. They are Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate, Real Estate Coach P. Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones and the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone Julia Berberich, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Ed Jones Chris Hoskins, Ellis and Associates, and BGW Construction and Legacy Motorsports. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the game. We've got a great crowd here, almost as much as we had for homecoming 2 weeks ago. I arrived about an hour before kickoff and um, got a slightly closer parking spot than I did last time. But again, I love having to search for parking spots here because it shows, even as early as I get to the game, since I'm the commentator, it shows how much enthusiasm there is for this team. And I just hope that will continue. These kids deserve it. They worked hard. They play some very exciting football, and I think the best is still to come. We have about 2,500 fans here on the Plainfield side of the field, about 100 across the field in the visiting bleachers who made the trip from Franklin, which is about 30 miles southeast of here. And I would imagine probably we'll have at least several more dozen Franklin fans file in throughout the game. It's easy to get tied up on that traffic coming up on US 31 and Interstate 465. And I thought we might start a little late tonight because I just found last Sunday when I was listening to the Coach Tyler Bless show on audiosportsonline.com on Plainfield's channel on there, um, that tonight is senior night. I'm so accustomed to senior day being the last regular season game. Last year, Plainfield broke with that tradition, having it on opening night. They're the opening game of the season right here against Terre Haute South. This week, they decided to have it early as well, although not quite as early. But Coach Bless said last year they were doing it because they were doing it early because the fall break here at Plainfield took place during the last regular season game, so they thought they would get a better turnout if they a better senior day turnout if they had it, earlier when all the students are in class. So anyway, um, Plainfield will receive the opening kickoff. We have Luke Starnes back deep to receive. Luke Starnes, if he gets 221 yards tonight, he will become Plainfield's all-time leading rusher. Barring injury, he's virtually certain to do it sometime this season. I hope he does it at home. But wherever he does it, it will be special. So now, kick. Starting takes it around the 8, brings up to the 10, 15, 20. Now he throws it back and he's over to the 20, 25, 30. He's got something here. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, and he stripped up about the 33. For those of you who remember the Music City Miracle, yeah, he threw it back to Larison. He threw it back to Blake Larison like I think it was Frank Wycheck to Andre Dyson back in the 1999 NFL playoffs, giving the Tennessee Titans that spectacular win over the Buffalo Bills. That's what that looked like there, but it is coming back. Unfortunately, I missed the flag of the excitement blocking the back. Oh well. Quakers take over 1st and 10 from the 19. Oh man. Yeah, I hate it when I get you all excited with a call because I'm so excited myself that I missed the flag. So sorry about that. Um, anyway, 3 receivers to the left, one to the right. Starnes the running back. Sabank in shotgun. Hands off to Starnes. He goes up the middle, and now he's hit at the line, but then finds someone on the right, gets up for about 4 or 5. And Starnes has nearly 100 yards on the season to give him 4, and that one bringing up fourth, 2nd and 6, bringing up 2nd and 6 at the 24. So Starnes now 216 yards behind the all-time school lead. 2 receivers to each side now. Starnes on the running back, Sabank in shotgun. Takes a snap, drops it back. He's got plenty of time, and now he rolls to his left, looks downfield, and it's nearly intercepted. It should have been intercepted. Um, Brian Leap had both hands on it. I'm surprised he didn't get it. It was not, a well thrown ball. Um, Sabank does not make many mistakes. 14 interceptions, only. I'm sorry, 14 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, a nearly 5-to-1 touchdown interception ratio on the season. So the Quakers dodge a bullet there in the early going. The Grizzly Cubs even had even without a return probably would have had it inside the 40 there. So now 2 running backs formation the Quakers have used more in the last couple of games. 2 receivers to the left, one to the right. Sabank now passes, and he's got a completion near the first down line. That was the Mason Beers, the senior, who's not played a lot before this year, but he has had some good moments this year, including 1 touchdown. First and 10 at the 40 at the first and 10 at the 25 now. Sabank now. I know he makes it, and he's up to past the 40, past nearly to the 50. Wow. Scott Amore caliber fake handoff by Bryce Sabank. I thought Starnes had it. Sabank fakes me out and takes it up for about 20 yards and another first down. Sabank's first keeper of the game. He's a pretty good rushing quarterback. Yeah, they do give him 20 there. So first and 10 for the Quakers at their own 49. 2 receivers to each side now. Screen pass. It is completed to Tom for his first reception. He's knocked out of bounds after picking up 4-5. So Sabank is shaking off that near interception with 2 consecutive completions. Now picking up 4 on that one. Now, Tom, the biggest surprise on this team, only a junior. How exciting that he and Sabank will be back next year as seniors with those 2 years of chemistry together. So now we've got Natom to the left, D'Amato and one other receiver to the right, McGill and Starnes in the backfield. Now, so now Starnes takes it, excuse me, he's got room on the left side. He gets it up to the 29, an 18-yard gain there by Starnes. Starnes, Starnes 5 on his first carry, 23 on his second. He's within 200 yards now of the record. 10-11 to go now in the first quarter. Plainfield 1st and 10 at the Franklin 29. First possession of the game. 2 receivers each side now. Screen pass over to Tom, and he's knocked out of bounds after picking up just a couple. See where they mark him. Oh, they only give him one. Nevertheless, they keep the clock moving. 2nd and 9 at the 28 for the Quakers. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And now we got some movement at the line, and we got a flag. All right. I think it's going to be against Franklin. This is the 43rd meeting between these two schools. They played every year starting in 1983 when Franklin joined the Mid-State Conference. The Quakers lead the all-time series 31-11. Hold that thought. 3 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left. Starnes, the only running back, Sabank in shotgun. Takes a snap, hands off to Starnes. He's got some room up the middle, and he gets about 3 or so. Starnes is patient. He waits to get his opportunity, and he jumps on it. Didn't give him as good a spot as they only gave him credit for 1. Nevertheless, after that 5-yard penalty, it is 3rd and 3. I have Starnes 3 for 24 now. So now on the Tom to the right, 2 receivers to the left, McGill and Starnes in the backfield. Starnes takes it again, and I don't think he got the first, which would make it 4th and very short. I think he's a yard short. I'd imagine, yeah, they're showing him 4th and 1 at the 21. 4th and 2, excuse me. So Plainfield obviously will go for it. So Natom out to the left, Devin D'Amato and Mason Beers out to the right. Now Austin Warden, their wide receiver, to the left as well. Sabank takes it, throws over to the left side, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. He was going for Natom, and it was tipped by a Franklin defender to the ground. So, one of the few Achilles heels for this team for Plainfield, too many turnovers on downs. That's something they've got to improve for the playoffs. We can't leave it. We can't leave any points on the field. We can probably beat Franklin leaving opponents on the field. I don't think we're going to beat New Palestine or Cathedral in the sectional, leaving points on the field. 3 receivers down to the left, 1 to the right for Franklin as they take over on offense at their own 21. And now they're right on top of the rusher there. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna say that he's. Yeah, they got him down for a 1-yard loss. Corey Taunt is the main rusher for the Grizzly Cubs. So 2nd and 11 now for Franklin. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Grayson Betts, a senior at quarterback, having a solid year. Looks like he's got a shot to play college ball. Big snap, empty backfield, and they're going after him. And there was a rush pass intended for Drew Wirtz, but incomplete. He had to get down low and just didn't quite get it. So 3rd and 11. So the Quakers one play away from getting him off the field here. Start to the game for the Quakers defense. Two plays, offensive plays for Franklin, minus 20 yards total. Corey Taunt, their running back, wearing number 41. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Grayson Betts in there at quarterback. And now hands off to Taunt, but they're right on top of him. He does break a tackle, gets up for 2 or 3 yards, but he's going to be far short of the first down. So it'll be fourth and long. So only 1 yard in three plays for Franklin on their first offensive possession, and they will apparently punt. So Ty White standing just inside Plainfield territory. Now he's backed up to the 45. Ty White already with a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown this year. That came against Mooresville. It's a short punt, and it bounces well inside Quaker territory, and now takes a big Plainfield bounce. It bounced around the 37, goes back to the 32 before it's downed by Franklin. So the Quakers turnover on downs ends up not hurting him this time. We still got to get out of the habit of turnovers on downs, but nevertheless, good start to the game for the Quakers overall. Now they just got to finish this one. 6:42 to go here in the first quarter. Plainfield 3-and-out on his first possession. Franklin punt on their first. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Two running backs. Sabonk drops back, throws deep into the end zone. Did he get it? No, Xander Natom. They said he dropped it. That was close. I thought he had it. I could not tell from my vantage point, though. I like the bold call though. I like the bold call. It's a low risk time to do that, and I like that Sabonk is throwing deep a lot more this year as a junior than he did last year as a sophomore, in which he was primarily a game manager. So now we've got D'Amato, Beers, and Wards to the right. Um, and now the place whistle dead. Another penalty there. False start this time against Plainfield. It'll make it 2nd and 15 from the 38. Still no score yet, nearly halfway through this first quarter. Coming at you live, game 7 of 9 in the regular season. This was Plainfield's senior day, though they do have one more home game 2 weeks from tonight. 2 weeks from tonight against Martinsville. They'll be on the road at Franklin 1 week from tonight. So two receivers to the right, one to the left now. Hand off there to Sabonk. He's got a start. He's got through on the left side, past the 30, past the 25, and he's pushed out of bounds just shy of the first. Well, it's not out of the question that Sabonk might break the record tonight. Let's hope so. So that, these thousands of Quaker fans will see it. So they have him 13 there. And now they give it Starnes again. They stop him short, I think a yard short of the first. I think they're going to give him one on that one. So we've gone over halfway through the quarter now. Oh, they're saying no gain there. So 6 for 38 for Starnes to start off the game. Three receivers now to the right, one to the left. The Quakers trying to avoid two consecutive turnovers on downs to start the game. 16 on the play clock. Sabonk, uh, and they look like they might need to take a timeout here, but now he takes a screen pass, and now there's a reception, but he's brought down for a loss. Great telegraph there by the Grizzly Cubs. Austin Ward got it, but he brought down for about 5-yard loss. So the Quakers now two turnovers on downs to start the game. Wow. The Bucs completed 4 of 7 passes, but for only 8 yards. After that, Ward goes in for -2. And now Corey Taunts takes it up for about a yard for the Grizzly Cubs. Corey Taunts, 3 receptions, 2 yards in this game so far. 7 and 8 at the Plainfield 29 for Franklin. And even 5 minutes to go. 3 receivers now to the left for Franklin. Taunts the running back, Betts in shotgun, takes a snap, drops back. He's got plenty of time. Throws, and it's incomplete. The receiver had to get very low. Betts 2 for 2 to start off the game. The clock stops with 4:49 to go here in the first quarter. 7:15 your time of day. We had a temperature of 80 degrees just before kickoff. We're supposed to have a high of 72 one week from tonight at Whiteland. Man, imagine being in the 70s in week 8. That's awesome. So once again, 3 receivers to the left. Taunt to the running back. Now he shifts left. Betts he's pressured, and we almost got him. He stays on his feet, goes up for about 2 or 3 yards. So a nice job there by Betts to avoid the sack, but it's going to be another punt apparently by the Grizzly Cubs. Grayson Betts 4 yards on his first carry of the game. 4th and 4 now, and now there's another punt by the Grizzly Cubs. High White takes it around the 37, takes it up to the 40. But he's got through on the right side, past the 50, past the 45, knocked out of bounds right around the 40. And so the Quakers, and now we got a flag here. I think there might have been a late hit. I did see some contact right around the time that White went out of bounds. That didn't look to me excessive, but you never know how the officials are going to call stuff like that. Personal foul. Well, you never know how close the officials are going to call that. So 15 free yards to the approximately 22 yards that White got there. So the Quakers will take over on the Franklin 26. They've gotten it into Franklin inside the Franklin 30 on their first 2 possessions. Turned it over on downs. Hopefully they'll score here. 2 receivers out to the left, one to the right. Hand off to Starnes. He charges up the middle with a guy at his ankle, drags him up about 2 or 3 yards, and he might have first. It's going to be very close. Starnes already 7 carries here in the first just over 8 minutes of the game. They give him 9 for that one. I have him 7 for 47. Second and 1 for the Quakers at the Franklin 17. So the Quakers get into the red zone, I believe, for the first time in this game. So now 3 receivers to the left, one to the right. Starts the running back now. Ward shifts right now, back left. The snap, screen pass over to Ward. He gets it around the 16. Shifts his way around a couple of defenders, gets inside the 10. That's going to be the first down and much more. There's a flag, however. Let's see what that's all about. Face mask. Okay, face mask. Face mask against Franklin. Let's see, so that'll be half the distance to the goal. Ward's first reception was for -2 yards. That one does a lot better, goes for 8. So first goal for the Quakers at the 4 now after the face mask penalty. Now hand off to Starnes. And they're right on top of him. They're right on top of him. So Franklin, they've done a good job on a couple of plays, where the timing was just perfect, and it resulted in a loss of yardage. So I give Franklin a lot of credit, and that's a 4-yard loss there against Starnes. Second and goal at the 8 now, 2:45. I give Franklin credit for still trying to hang tough. They enter at 3-3, could be 6-0. All three of their losses came by one possession. We've generally done better against common opponents, however. So now three receivers to the right, one to the left. Screen pass over there to Tom. He's got some on the right side, and he takes it for the touchdown. All right. All right. So Plainfield finally on their third possession, they get inside the 30 every time. Finally get the touchdown on the third possession after two turnovers on downs. So 2:23 to go here in the first quarter. Plainfield 6, Franklin 0 with the conversion pending. And Edwards on the extra point is up and good. Edwards having a pretty good year, 21 for 25. He's still a junior, so he's a junior, so he's got another year to come back to keep growing and maturing. So an 8-yard touchdown pass from Xander. I'm sorry, from Bryce Sabunk to Xander Natom. And now that's the ninth rushing touchdown, 10th overall touchdown for Natom on the season. So he's averaging better than a touchdown a game. So hopefully that'll give the Quakers some offense. I mean, hopefully that will give them some confidence in their offense. Overall, a good start to the game. A good start that could have been a great start. We could be up 21-0 right now as it is 7-0. We just got to start finishing the drives. Good news is the defense has played very well. Franklin's barely gotten anything going at all. That they have not gotten a first down yet on their first two possessions. Now kickoff right up to the 20, 25. He breaks the tackle, gets past the 30. So that's about the biggest highlight so far for the Grizzly Cubs in this game. 2:17 to go now in the first quarter. So Franklin takes over on offense, their third possession of the game. They take over at their own 31, their best starting field position of the game, trailing 7-0 now. One receiver to the left, two to the right. Um, Taunt gets the carry, and he gets up for about 3 or 4. Him 3 for that one. So Taunt 4 for 5 in this game. He's averaging about 6 a carry on the season. Undoubtedly the offensive MVP for this Franklin team. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left. High snap, but he gets it, hands it over to Taunt again. And this time he breaks the tackle near the line of scrimmage. It gets up for about 4 or 5. So it's going to be, I think this is going to be the closest they've ever gotten to the first down. Give him 4 on that one. So Taunt 5 for 9, 3rd and 3 for the Grizzly Cubs at their own 38. So now we've got Drew Wirtz and one of the receiver up to the right, another to the left. Taunt still in the backfield. Betts in shotgun. Takes a snap. It's high, but he gets it again. And this time they're ready for Taunt. And he gets maybe one. So it'll bring up 4th again. We'll see where they measure him. We'll see where the we'll see where they spot him. They say no gain. So we've held Taunt, their leading Riker, 6 for 9. And it looks like the Grizzly Cubs will punt again, barring a fake, of course. 4th and 3 at their own 38, 45 seconds to go and counting here in the first quarter. 7:23 your time of day. Quakers leading 7-0, should be 21-0. They had two turnovers on downs inside the Franklin 30, but then got the job done on their last possession. And now a fake punt, and it nearly intercepted. It was tipped. But I'll tell you, I take it as a great compliment. There is a flag on the play. Let's see who it's against. Here. Holding against Franklin, it's declined, so the Quakers take over 1st and 10 at the Franklin 38. Come on, boys, let's just stick a nail in it right now. Don't let Franklin feel like they can hang around in this one. Put them away when you got the chance. So two receivers to the left, now one to the right. Hand off there to Starnes. He is hit near the line of scrimmage, plows his way up for about 4. There is a flag, so let's see what that's all about. Holding against Plainfield. So that negates the 4-yard gain by Starnes. 21.1 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Quakers at 5-1, ranked number 6 in the state in Class 3A. Been as high as number 3 this season. Also in our sectional are the number 1 ranked team in our class, New Palestine, and number 3 ranked team in our class, Cathedral. So we got to, we're even to get a postseason win, we might have a real workout to do it. So 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left now. Hands off to Starnes from back at the 49, and he takes it on the left side, gets up for just about 2. Knocked out of bounds after picking up about 2. We give him credit for 4. So 2nd and 16 now. Plainfield at the Whiteland 20, at the Franklin 27. Whiteland is next week. So 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sabank. Now he's got a man up the middle, and it's caught, and he gets about 6 yards there. That was to Ward again, and that will bring us to the end of the quarter. So after one quarter here in 1 quarter here at Plainfield. It's been a good game. That could have been a great game, and hopefully will turn into a great game. Your score: Plainfield 7, um, Franklin 0. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football and audiosportsonline.com is sponsored to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate Coach P. Chris Pearson, Selwyn Jones and the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone Julia Berberich, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, and BGW Construction and Legacy Motorsports. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. We're back here at Plainfield. We're about to start the second quarter with your Plainfield Quakers leading the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 7-0. Franklin and now Sabank got tongue tied there. Sabank threw deep up the middle, and it was just a little bit overthrown, and it would have been an easy touchdown. He was going after Luke Starnes, who's actually been a fairly effective receiver this season, and but it was overthrown. So Sabank 7 of 11 now for 31 yards and a touchdown. So that holding penalty results in unfortunately a 3 and out for the Quakers after they took over with that turnover on downs. Oh no, they're going for a fake, and he's up to the 35, 30. Did he get the first down? It's going to be within a yard or so. Tristan Meyer for what I believe is his first career rush. Did he get the first down? That's the question. He was within a yard or so. I remember it was a fake punt back in the Greenwood game 2 years ago that really turned the game around. There's going to be a measurement here. Well, when we resume play, there will be 11:49 to go here in the second quarter. Plainfield leading 7-0. This is already the Quakers' fourth possession of the game. Their first two ended with turnovers on downs inside the 30. Now this one is either going to be it's going to be ending on a turnover on downs at the 30, or um, it's going to be a very narrow first down. So yeah, it's just short. So good effort. But yeah, I remember. I believe it was Brandon Henry who got that, who converted that fake punt into a first down when Greenwood had the momentum against us. We were leading 22-20, but Greenwood had the momentum, and then from there we rode to an easy 46-20 win. And if you just look at the final score, you would not guess that it was a very tense game into the third quarter, but we finished that one very strong. Then, on the other hand, we went for a punt the next week at Decatur Central, and it ended up hurting us in that loss. So two receivers to the left, now one to the right. Um, Now a handoff there to Taunt. We've been on top of him all night. He's carried 6 times for only 9 yards by my count in the first quarter, and I don't think he got anything there. Maybe they might give him forward progress for one. 11:30 to go now and counting in the first quarter. Now they're saying no gain, so 7 for 9 for Taunt. And Betts has only thrown 2 passes. So two receivers now to the left, one to the right. Taunt's the running back. Betts in shotgun. 6 on the play clock. Or they're getting really close, 3-2. And now that there's a flag here. The play's whistle dead. They did snap it to Betts, but false start against Franklin. So 2nd and 10 becomes 2nd and 15 with 11:02 to go. Now screen pass this time's complete. He's got some room, and he finds a hole, gets up to about 35. Braden Bonesteel there on that reception, and he picks up about 11 there. Yeah, he does get 11. That's the first completion of the game for Betts. Big 3rd and 4 for Franklin. They're lucky to only be down 7-0. It could be 28-0. Two receivers to the left, one to the right, and now the play is whistled dead. The play is whistled dead. 9:53 to go. False start against Franklin. That's a very harmful, very harmful penalty. 3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 9. Right after Franklin gets its first good offensive play of the game. Now they're back in a dreaded 3rd and long. Although they're only down 7, and they're very lucky for that. The Quakers 3 turnovers on downs inside the 30. One touchdown. They got a touchdown on their other possession. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Taunts the running back. Betts now down to 3 on the play clock, but he gets it off. And now a screen pass there to Taunt, but they're right on top of him, and they're going to bring him down. Well, he broke a tackle and got up for a slight gain, but it's going to be That's going to be, far short of the first down. He only picked up about one, but he could have lost three or four. So I give him credit for. Oh, they're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage. And now a punt, and White gets it around the 35, gets about two before he's tackled. So Plainfield, they haven't done a lot. Well, they've moved the ball well, but they just haven't finished drives. They've only finished one of three. So now, you got Beers and the Tom out to the. You got three receivers now to the right, one to the left. First and 10 for the Quakers. They're throwing 37, 9-11 to go here in the second quarter. Starnes gets the handoff, and they're ready for him, but he does um, spin his way up for about three or four. Already Starnes' 10th carry of this game. Give him credit for four. So I have him 10 for 51. So he's 169 yards now behind Zane Fakes for the all-time school lead by my count. So now Natom and Ward out to the left. I believe Ty White is now in their wide receiver position. He's played more frequently in recent games. Barnes gets it again. And it looked like he ran into one of his own men. It only gets up for maybe one. So no gain there for Starnes, bringing up third and six. Very critical play for the for Grizzly Cubs defense, especially because Plainfield does get the ball first to start the. No, sorry, Franklin does get the ball first, start second half. But anyway, throw up the middle now by Sabank, and he's got a catch there for about 17 yards. That's Ward. Ward is slow to get up. He does get up on his own power, but he does look shaken. So good release on that by Sabank. He got rid of it quickly, threw a bullet up the middle, and we got 17 yards there. Longest passing play of the game. Ward now 4 receptions for 30 yards. So we move it from our 41 to their 42. So now two receivers to each side. Turns the running back. So Donk takes the snap. He's pressured, throws up the middle, and it's incomplete. Not close to anybody. So Bonk, I have him 8 for 13. He's I think he just threw it to get rid of it. Last week, only 15 for 36. Decatur Central's passing defense played very well in handing Plainfield its first loss of the season. Now second and 10 for the Quakers to throw 42. Two receivers to each side. Starnes the running back. Starnes there in the backfield. Sabank takes it, gives it to Starnes. He's set at the line of scrimmage, but finds some room around the defender and gets up for about four or five. And four on that one. I have him 12 for 55 now. So Starnes, he's had some good gains, but Franklin, to their credit, I mean they've been ready for him. So now we've got one receiver to the left, three to the right. We have and then Starnes in the backfield. Screen pass now complete. Oh, and he bobbled it. That he was going for Tom. He bobbled it and it went out of bounds. So after one first down, the Quakers apparently will punt. Well, they are actually they're at the Franklin 38. It would not surprise me if they went for it here. Maybe Tucker Mitchell. Yeah, Tucker Mitchell does punt for the first time today, and there's nobody back deep to receive. So the Quakers, they're going to have a chance. They can down it at the one here. They do. All right. All right. So Franklin, having not gotten a first down all game, takes over at their own one. Plainfield still leading only 7-0. Franklin, getting the ball first to start the second half. But man, it's disappointing that the Quakers have not finished drives. Every drive this game, that's 4 times they've gotten inside the Franklin 40 and come away with no points. The other time they did get, the touchdown pass from Sabank to Natam. Um, so now some movement near the line, and we've got a whistle here. Hopefully, we did not just give them 5 free yards and move them from the 1 to the 6. But I believe that's what we did. Maybe we're too, maybe, yeah, maybe we were too zealous going for the safety. Although a safety here would give us a 2 possession lead, which would be good. I mean, I wasn't expecting us to beat Whiteland. I wasn't expecting us to destroy them, but I thought we would be comfortably ahead by now. So now, 1st and 5 for the Grizzly Cubs at throwing 6, 1 receiver to each side. Um, 2 running backs now, and it's this time a quarterback sneak there by Betts. He gets maybe a couple. Yeah, they give him credit for so 2nd and 3 at the 7. 6:12 to go down the quarter, and now a handoff over to Taunt again. He's going to be close to the first down over on the right side. Taunt already 8 carries by my count. Give him credit for 2 there, bringing up a very critical 3rd and 1. Because if they don't get this, then Plainfield's almost certain to get the ball back in their own territory. Franklin's defense has made stops when it counted. I give them all the credit in the world for that. Plainfield should be up really at least 3 possessions by now. And now a handoff to Taunt again. He might have gotten the first down, which would be the first down of the game for Franklin. It has been well contained, but I think he did get the first. Yes, he did. So 1st and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs at their own 11 now. Hand off to Taunt again. This time he's got a little bit of a hole, although I think he got maybe 2 there. The Breakers did a good job getting over there to cover him. Bringing up 2nd and long, 4:40 to go. And, it could be that Franklin just trying to run out the rest of the clock and just start fresh in the second half. I mean, I think they're going to try to score. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to try to make sure that whatever happens, that Plainfield does not get the ball back the rest of this half. I think Franklin wants to go into the locker room at worst with this 7-0 score. Also, so they're saying no gain. Looked to me like he got some. But anyway, now Snell fixes the handoff, and now Betts rolls left and he throws, but he doesn't get close to anybody. The closest receiver was Cole Balker, who is the leading receiver for this team for Franklin this season. Betts only 2 for 5 on the game for 13 yards. So a very big 3rd and 10 now, because if they do not get, we do have a flag, so let's see what that's all about. Okay, illegal formation against Franklin, but we decline it. So that'll bring it up. That's 3rd and 10. So all right, we're doing good. We're doing well. Excuse me. I got to use correct grammar here on these high school sports podcasts. Excuse me. I'm usually pretty good with the grammar, but when you talk for 3 hours nonstop, you're likely to make a mistake here and there. So a very big 3rd and 10 now for the Grizzly Cubs. The Quakers hoping to get the ball back here with a few minutes to do something. So now two receivers each side. Betts throws downfield, and it is incomplete. It's going after Wirtz. So now the Grizzly Cubs will be punting. It looks like from their own end zone, and we've, by my count, Franklin has only 26 yards of total offense in this first half, and we're nearly 20 minutes into this game. They go for the block. Nevertheless, White gets it just past the 50, takes it up to the 45, 40, and now up to about the 36. So Ty White with some good return yards tonight. So the Quakers, once again, this is their 6th drive. They got the first 5 inside the 40, turned it over on downs all but one time. They did get a touchdown the other time, and that's the only score in this game. So now we've got, let's see, Beers and Natom to the right, D'Amato and Ward to the left. Blocking the back against the Quakers, so it's coming. So they're moving it back to the Franklin 48. Still the Quakers in Grizzly Cubs territory with all 3 timeouts, 3:51 to go. Come on, boys. Let's take control of this game. So now handoff there to Starnes. He's got room on the left side, past the 45, past the 40, and I think he's got the first down. It's going to be really close. That was one of his better gains of the evening. Okay, they got him a yard short. Nevertheless, I have Starnes 13 for 62. Nearly already up to the 72 he had last week in the loss at Decatur Central. So now 2 receivers to the right. Starnes and now hands off there to Starnes again, and he's got the first down and about 5 more. No, that was Corin McGill. Excuse me, Corin McGill with his first carry of the game. I apologize for that. Corin McGill's had some good moments as a backup running back this year. I'm hoping he'll get even more carries down the stretch to give Starnes some relief and to give another supplement to our rushing offense. So now it was Natom to the left, White's to the right, um, McGill and Starnes in the backfield. Sabak takes the snap. This time, hands off to Starnes. He's got throw on the left side up to about the 30. It's got about 4. 14 to 6, 1466 here. And now there's a flag on the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Franklin. Boy, that's a potentially devastating break for the Grizzly Cubs. So that gives the Quakers 15 free yards from the 16 up to from the 31 up to the 16. And I don't know. I mean, I try not to be very judgmental on unsportsmanlike conduct calls unless I see something outrageous. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Starnes gets it and he takes it up for about 4 or 5. Give him credit for 6, bringing up And 4 at the 10 for the Quakers. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left. McGill and Starnes, the running backs, takes the snap. And the Sabak drops it back, throws on the end zone. Oh, it's just mistimed. It's mistimed. So he's going for Beard there. Sabak 8 for 15. So a very critical 3rd and 4 now for the Grizzly Cubs defense. Both teams still with all 3 timeouts. 7-7 your score. 7:49 your time of day. We very well could get into the locker room before 8 o'clock tonight. So 2 receivers to the right, one to the left, 2 running backs now. Now hands off there, but they're right on top of him, and they bring him down short of the first down. Might have given him 1 or 2. 2:09 to go. The only credit for 1. Well, that puts Starnes up to 73, which would be a yard more than he got against Decatur Central last week. So now will the Quakers go for a field goal? This would be a 26-yarder. Edwards is 21 of 25 on extra points, and now the Quakers take their first timeout with 1:55 to go. And at that, I will try to catch my breath. Well, a lot has happened in this game. You wouldn't know it by looking at the scoreboard, but it's been an adventurous game in which Franklin is lucky to be hanging on. I give them credit; they've made the big defensive plays where they had to. Um, I have Plainfield with 154 total yards, in comparison to 29 for Franklin. I'm sorry, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I have Plainfield with 154 total yards and Franklin with 31. So Plainfield near Plainfield gaining Franklin, Plainfield outgaining Franklin from scrimmage nearly 5-1, and it's only a 7-0 Quakers lead. The Quakers have turned it over on, well, they had 3 turnovers on downs and 1 punt inside the Franklin 40. That is something we've got to polish for the playoffs, which start 4 weeks from tonight. So now 4th and 3, the Quakers going for it here. Sabak drops back. He's got time. He's pressured now. Rolls left. He's brought down. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Oh my God! Wow. The Quakers turnover on downs again. Four turnovers on downs tonight inside the 40, along with the punt inside the 40. 3-yard loss there on Natom. I'm sorry, on Sabak. Excuse me, Sabak. And so now it'll be interesting to see if with Franklin taking over at their own 11 with all 3 timeouts left, what they try to do. And they start off with a short run. That was the Betts with his 3rd keeper of the game. Doesn't get much, maybe a 1 or 2. See if Franklin, or yeah, and it could be that Plainfield will take the timeouts. So the Plainfield's taking a timeout in the hope that they will get the ball back in time to do something here in the half, especially trying to force the Grizzly Cubs into another punt from their end zone. We could be up 42-0 now, as it is at 7-0. We're still up, and our defense has played very well. And I don't believe that Franklin even has a first down yet, but we're just not finishing drives, and that is concerning. So 1:30 to go, and Plainfield has 1 timeout left. As we return to play with Franklin with the ball, 2nd and 9 at their own 12. Plainfield leading 7-0. Franklin gets the ball first to start the second half. 3 receivers now to the left. Betts takes it, hands off to Taunt, and they're right on top of him, and he doesn't get much, if anything. and I believe Plainfield just took their last time out with 126 to go. And they're actually saying that Taunt's locked one, so I have him 11. I have him 11 for 11 now. Wow. So Plainfield, obviously, they want to get a seventh possession here. So assuming that Franklin does not get 11 yards on this play, which is probable, they haven't gotten that. Well, they did get an 11-yard reception to bone break when it was 3rd and 15 or 2nd and 15. But anyway, so the Grizzly Cups take over now, trying to get something going on offense. They've barely gotten anything going all night. So now a high snap, but he gets it over to Taunt, and he's got some room over on the right side, but he's going to be far short of the first down. And now with 40 on the shot clock, on the play clock, excuse me, the I think the Grizzly Cubs are going to let it run down to 1 second and then punt with about 35 seconds left as they give Taunt credit for 3 on there. I have him only 12 for 14. He averages about 6 yards a carry on the season. 18 on the shot clock, now 52 on the game clock. I'd imagine they're going to let it run down to 1 and call timeout. They have all 3 timeouts left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and well, they do punt it. So White takes it inside the 45, and he's got some room past the 45 to 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and we got a late flag. He took it all the way into the end zone, but will it count? So let's see what the if it's against Franklin, we've got the lead. We've got a 2 possession lead now. If not, then it'll be coming back. It would be about a 44-yard punt return for White. No, they've got personal foul against the Quakers, so that will negate the touchdown. So now let's see where they mark it. Well, they're still giving them. Well, no, they're backing it up now. Look, they're going to mark it around somewhere in the 20s. Now they're marking it at the 32. So still Plainfield with 24.5 seconds to go, but no timeouts. That's the challenge. The 2 receivers to each side. Starnes the running back. Sabank in shotgun. Takes snap. Drops back. Throws deep up the middle. He's got a man open. Just overthrown. He was going for Vanderbush, who's had 2 touchdowns, one in each of the last 2 games. One passing, one rushing. The rush was on a trick play last week in Decatur Central that gave us our only lead of the game, 13-8. Oh, we got a flag, though. Holding against Plainfield. We'll bring it back 10 yards to the 42, and it'll be replay, so it'll be 1st and 20. The receivers to each side. Sabank takes it, drops back, looks deep, screen pass, and it's complete, and he's out of bounds after about 8 yards. Starnes with the first reception of the game. Give him 6 on that one. Starnes, um, had quite a bit of success receiving this year, including a 41-yard touchdown in the opener at Terre Haute South. So now 2nd and 14 at the 36. Sabank drops back, throws deep, but he throws into double coverage. And did he intercept it? I believe it's an interception. Yes, not a terribly harmful interception, but disappointing nevertheless. 7.9 seconds to go. I would imagine that well, Franklin takes over at the 1. So yeah, that actually could be good for the Quakers because now Franklin will have to try to avoid a loss. They won't be able to kneel down like you usually can in this situation. So the Quakers can try to force at least some kind of fumble or safety or something here. And remember, a safety would make it a 2 possession lead. That would make which normally would not be particularly insurmountable. But keep in mind, Franklin does not yet have a first down in this game. So the Grizzly Cubs will have to try something, and they try to push forward. I think they got a yard or so on the quarterback sneak, so they avoid the safety, and that's it. So after one half of play here at Plainfield, your Plainfield Quakers, um, 7 possessions. They get all of them inside the Franklin 40, but they come away with only 7 points. The good news is that their defense is held very strong, not allowing the Grizzly Cubs a first down. So Plainfield does nevertheless lead 7-0. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. Podcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them when we hope you will support them. They are Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Drone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate Coach P. Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones and the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone Julia Berberich, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edwards Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. Um, Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. We're back here at Plainfield. We're at halftime with your Plainfield Quakers leading, but having a very concerning performance. Um, they lead Franklin 7-0. But the bottom, the concerning thing is that the Quakers are averaging exactly 1 point of possession. They've had 7 possessions in this game. Each one of them got inside the Franklin 40. 6 of them came away with no points. We had 4 turnovers on downs, including one in which we'd gotten as far as the 9. Um, 1 punt, 1 interception, and on our third possession, making this a very quick scoring recap with 2:23 to go in the first quarter. Um, Bryce Sabonk threw 8 yards to Xander Natam for his 9th receiving touchdown, 10th overall touchdown of the season. The extra point by Ethan Edwards was good. Bringing us to a current score of 7-0. Um, the good news for the Quakers, besides that they do have the lead despite, squandering many opportunities, um, they've played extremely well on defense, and I mean extremely well. Franklin does not have a single first down, and they've been held to, I believe, 32 total yards from scrimmage. Let me check that here. So Plainfield has 153 total yards, um, and Franklin 35. So yeah, I mean we're outgaining them close to 5-1 from scrimmage, despite only leading by 7 points. Look at the individual statistics. Um, for Plainfield, Bryce Sabonk has completed 9 of 17 passes for 54 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Um, his leading receiver is Austin Ward with 4 receptions for 30 yards. Xander Natam has 3 receptions for 13 and a touchdown, the only touchdown of the game. Luke Starnes has 1 for 6, and Mason Beers 1 for 5. On the ground, Luke Starnes has been fairly contained, but still a solid game. 16 receptions, 73 yards. Then Bryce Sabonk, 2 for 17. Justin Meyer on a fake punt attempt rushed once for 9 yards, nearly got the first down, missed by 1 yard. And Corin McGill, 1 for 4. Meanwhile, for Franklin, Grayson Betts Grayson Betts has completed. Grayson Betts has completed 2 of 16 passes for 13 yards. Um, Braden Bonesteel has 1 reception for 11 yards, and Corey Taunt, the running back, 1 for 2. On the ground, Taunt has rushed 12 times for only 14 yards. Betts 4 for 8. So basically, a super simple recap for Plainfield in the second half. The key is simple: keep doing what you're doing on defense because that's working brilliantly. Like I said, only 35 yards for the Grizzly Cubs in the first half. But then beyond that, you just got to you know start finishing drives. You know, I mean, we've had 7 possessions, all got inside the Grizzly Cubs 40. So we're having some success moving the ball. We've moved the ball an average of over 20 yards per possession. We just got to finish it off. Franklin has made some very good defensive stops when it counted most, but we just got to focus and come out there with the eye of the tiger. And if we do that, I think we will get out of here with a comfortable win. This reminds me a little bit of the Mooresville game, although that wasn't. We didn't squander quite as many opportunities in that game. It was 14-14 at the half. Then we pulled away with 3 touchdowns in the third quarter to win it. So anyway, I think I think we're going to win this. I would like to hear Coach Bless's halftime speech. Um, this is one time, far be it for me to tell Coach Bless how to try to motivate these kids. I think if I were the head coach right now, I would probably be having a Bob Knight moment. But uh, as long as the kids come out and take care of business in the second half, I'll be pleased. But what I want we have 2.5 games now. The regular season after last week was 2/3 of the way done. So we have 10 quarters of football, 2.5 games left to tune up for the playoffs. And we're going to have to beat Cathedral and/or New Palestine in the sectional. We're ranked number 6 in the state now in Class 5A. But two of the 3 other teams in our sectional, um, um, Cathedral's ranked number 3, New Palestine's ranked number 1. We're going to have to beat at least one of them, possibly 2, depending on the draw. The other team in the sectional is Anderson, who is very, very bad. They do look like they're slightly better than last year. They actually won a game this year. They were 0-10 last year, but um, still very, very bad. So I hope we draw them in the first round, but they're only a 1 in 3 chance of that. So we got to be ready to draw New Palestine or Cathedral, and be ready um, to look into the eye of the dragon and slay it. Um, and what we've done tonight, um, it's good enough to beat Anderson. It probably will prove to be good enough to beat Franklin. It's not good enough to beat New Palestine or Cathedral. We got 4 weeks to tune up. We have 2.5 more games to tune up. So what I want to see the last, 2.5, the last 5 halves, the last 10 quarters of this regular season. I just want us to bring it for all 10 quarters, all 120 minutes, all 120 minutes. I want to see A+ Quaker football and show that we're going to be ready for Decatur Central or Cathedral. Um, this has been a good football team this year. At times, it's been a great football team. They have not been great tonight. They have not been bad either, but they have not been as good as they could have been. And I want to see this team fulfill its potential. So, you know, let's all just cheer them on and encourage them in this second half to play the way that we know they're capable of playing. Right now, with 7:40 to go on the pregame clock, let's catch up with what the other Hendricks County teams are doing. That I think I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to do that last week. Had so much else to talk about, but it's been a very good year for football in the county. Very good year. Brownsburg, starting off in Class 6A, remains at number 1 at 6-0 after last week beating Fishers 42-14. Tonight they are at 5-1 Westfield, and hold on just a second here. No, I apologize. I'm sorry, that was last week's schedule. Um, so let's look at this week. Franklin at 6-0 after last week beating. Last week they beat Westfield 14-10 in a rematch of last year's Class 6A state championship game. Tonight, Brownsburg visits um, 3-3. I'm sorry, tonight they host 3-3 Zionsville. Should be an easy win for the Bulldogs. Also in Class 6A, Avon at 3-3, trying to have their first winning season in 6 years, their first non-losing season in 5 years. Um, they dropped to 3-3 last week with a 29-15 loss to Fishers. Tonight they try to get back on track against 4-2 Westfield, who's currently ranked sixth in Class 6A. In Class 4A, Danville is the only team in the county that is not ranked right now. They are 3-3 after last week's 37-13 win over Cincinnati Bacon. Tonight, um, they return to Sagamore Conference play as they host the Lebanon Tigers, who are 4-2. Now down to a Class 3A. Cascade remains undefeated at 6-0, and they're ranked number 3 at Class 3A after last week's 55-3 win over Crawfordsville. Last two games before that, 63-26 over North Montgomery and 77-0 over Frankfort, holding the host Hot Dogs to 23 total yards of offense. Tonight, things get a little tougher for the Cadets as they visit 3-3 Greencastle, and finally rounding out the county in Class 3A. Tri West is at number 8 this week with a record of 5-8 after last week's 31-24 win over Indian Creek. Tonight, the Bruins go back on the road as they visit the 3-3 Monrovia Bulldogs, 2015 Class 2A state champions. Well, you know, last week was our first loss of the season. And it's really interesting. This is Tyler Bless's third year on the job as the head coach here at Plainfield. And he's 20-7. But if you take away Decatur Central games, he's 20-3. He's 0-4 against Decatur Central, 20-3 against everyone else. In fact, Plainfield is currently on a 14-0. They're on a 14-game winning streak against non-Decatur Central opponents. So, if we never had to play Decatur Central, who knows? We might never lose. But as it is, we do play Decatur Central. So, gosh, we can't we that's just a message. We've got to strive to get better. Although it's comforting that Decatur Central is they're ranked number 10 in Class 6A now. So last week we lost by 18 points to a ranked team from a higher class. So it's not really that bad. And overall we played fairly decently, all things considered, and had the lead for a good chunk of the game. Um, I mean, tonight's just, even though we're leading right now, tonight's game so far has been a bigger disappointment than last week was. But, last week, it was the first time I had experienced losing in about 300 and some days since the playoff loss to Decatur Central last week, since the playoff loss in the sectional championship game to Decatur Central last year. And it reminded me that I do not handle losing well. That's not to say I don't throw chairs or anything like that. Um, I usually don't use profanity. About the only time I use profanity other than in my acting career, where I probably use more in my acting career than in my real life. Um, and you know, one time I was in a short film, and there was a certain word that I used that I don't normally use in my regular life because it was in the script. And my son is, he seemed so shocked by it because he doesn't usually hear me talk that way, and he played that line about 100 times in a row. I think just because he thought it was so funny. But real life, I might utter an obscenity when I get a paper cut or if I open the refrigerator and something like something falls on my foot, some like heavy frozen thing. But I get angry, I get frustrated, I get in a bad mood, when we lose. And I'll tell you, the toughest time I ever had losing was during my 3 year stint as the basketball commentator, boys and girls, for Cascade down US 40. I was their basketball commentator for boys and girls telecasts for um, 2016 to 2019. I have a lot of great memories of it. And I consider myself to be a cadet as well as a Quaker, though I do consider myself to be a Quaker first and foremost. Um, and you know, I remember the last year, the 2018-2019 season. The girls were 4-18, the boys were 5-18, and I would have like a 40-minute drive from Cascade back to my home in West Indianapolis. I live in East Indianapolis now. Um, and man, I have so many bad memories of driving of that trip home that year, of that trip down US 40. Not to mention, I was, worried about hitting a deer there because my broadcast partner Rob Kindle actually did hit a deer one night. I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was the night that I think he missed a broadcast because of it, if I remember correctly. I'll have to ask him about that, see if he remembers it. But he and I had a few adventures together over the years. Um, like there was one night when we were broadcasting Brownsburg back in 2015, um, and we were up at Lawrence Central. They didn't have a place for us in the press box, so we commentated in the stands. And then there was one night, God, when was that? Oh, it was here at Plainfield back in 2016. It was the JV game versus Greenwood, where there must have been I think that one of the two Greenwood buses got into a tie up on US 31. I never heard the story. I'll have to ask somebody at Greenwood about it. But exactly two Greenwood fans showed up. Normally they'd have a few dozen there, and I think 18 players showed up, and we won 50-8. And it was basically like we were playing, like their freshman team because they were so understaffed. I was just glad nobody got hurt in the game, and the game was so dreary that I started in the fourth quarter talking about this bug that was crawling on the window. The game's still up on YouTube if you want to listen to it. It's the Plainfield Greenwood JV game back in 2016 on the Audio Sports Online YouTube channel. But you know, I'll tell you, you know, I talk about Rocky a lot. In fact, I was just talking to my son on the way here. It just occurred to me, it's hard to believe next month will be the 10th anniversary of the movie Creed, the movie that started the Rocky spinoff series. Um, and a series that I'm enjoying very much, about as much as I enjoy the Rocky series. And anyway, you know, one thing I love about the Rocky series is that there's a universal theme to the series, but um, there are also individual themes to each. There are also specific themes to each individual movie. And in Rocky 3, one of the individual themes is the danger of complacency with your success. And anyway, the movie starts off. I love that opening montage set to the Survivor song "Eye of the Tiger," which is one of my all-time favorite uses of pop music in a movie. And one thing that makes it so great is that the song was written specifically for the movie. The two songwriters of the band, Jim Peterick and Frankie Sullivan, watched that montage because that's what Stallone wanted them to write a song for, and that they watched a rough cut of the film too, and they noticed that Rocky in the movie is trained by his rival turned friend Apollo Creed, played by the late Carl Weathers, and um, and Apollo tells Rocky after Rocky's lost the heavyweight championship to Clubber Lang, played by, of course, Mr. T. You lost that fight for all the wrong reasons. And that quote, 43 years later, since I first saw the movie at a theater when I was 11 years old, um, that quote stays with me because I always talk about that. There's not a thing in the world wrong. There's not a thing in the world wrong with losing. What's wrong is when you lose for the wrong reasons. And you know, then Rocky, Apollo tells Rocky that he's lost the eye of the tiger. In other words, the killer instinct, which that's the phrase that inspired the song, and that he needs to get it back. So Apollo helps Rocky get it back. But before he does, he goes into a slump where he feels sorry for himself, and um, you know, there Apollo and Rocky are running on the beach, and then Rocky just starts, blanking out and thinking about all these horrifying memories of his recent past, including the death of his manager, Mickey. And then Apollo yells at Rocky, "What's the matter with you?" And then, and then but then Rocky, he's inspired by his wife, and he gets the eye of the tiger back, and they do the training montage to gonna fly now, and then everything's right again. So hopefully, the first half of this game is um, like the Apollo Creed "What's the matter with you" moment, and that the second half will be like the redemption, the training montage where everybody's happy, and where our kids are on top of their game again. So we'll see. Quakers lining up for the kickoff now, leading 7-0, trying to overcome six uh, failures to score inside the opponent's 40 in the first half. It's a deep kick taken at about the 3, but up to the 10, 15, 20, uh, 25, still on his feet, plowing through a wall of Quakers, and he gets up to about the 30 before the referee whistles the play dead. Kelvin English there on the return. 11:48 to go now. One receiver to the left, one to the right, one running back. And now Betts' screen pass is complete to Cole Balker with his first reception of the game, but he doesn't get much, maybe just a couple. Well, Plainfield, Plainfield defense still doing very well. They give Balker 3 there on that play. Just the 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7 now for the Grizzly Cubs to throw 35. Now and now I think there's confusion there. He threw it between two. He threw it between two receivers. Was not very close to either of them, however. So a big 3rd and 7 for the Grizzly Cubs now, trailing 7-0. And now Betts drops back, throws deep, but it's overthrown. We got a late flag. Is that pass interference? It didn't look like it to me, although it was on the opposite end of the field, so I did not have a perfect view of it. If it is, it will be the first down of the game for Franklin. Yeah, pass interference, that'll bring it up to the 50. So still, the Grizzly Cubs still not an earned first down in this game. I remember the Perry Meridian game, the at Perry Meridian game in 2022. Um, we did not get an earned first down to the last 4 minutes. So now 3 receivers to the right, one to the left. They give it to Todd, but we're right on top of him, and we stop him at the line of scrimmage. And that's a loss of one. A loss of one. So that's why, even though I've been disappointed by the Quakers' lack of finishing drives tonight, I have never panicked because I feel like our defense has Franklin so much under control. So now 2nd and 11 for the Grizzly Cubs to throw 49, 2 receivers to each side, low snap, but he gets it, fakes the handoff now, and we nearly got him for a sack. He nearly trips, and now he goes up and gets back to about the line of scrimmage, so we'll bring up 3rd and long. Nice effort by Betts when he nearly was sacked. So he gets back to the line of scrimmage, bringing up 3rd and 11. 10:04 to go now here in the third quarter. Your score: Plainfield 7, Franklin 0. Quakers have clearly outplayed the Grizzly Cubs, but have done So good job finishing drives. Two receivers now to the left. One running back. Betts takes the snap, throws up the middle, and it's dropped. It's dropped. He had to get down low. He got both hands on it, but not the grip. Works with the intended receiver. So 4th and 10 now for the Grizzly Cubs. At the 50, it looks like they will punt here. Wouldn't be surprised if they pulled a fake, but actually probably not because they're only down by 7. I think they'll try to pin Quakers deep. So now the punt, White's, and it goes out of bounds around the 15. All right, 9:34 to go in the third quarter. The Quakers with the ball 17-0, taking over at their own 15. Come on, boys. Let's start finishing some drives. Oh, Vanderbush now goes over to the left. We've got two receivers now to the right. Starnes, the running back, Sabank in shotgun. Gives it to Starnes. No, gives it over on a to one of the receivers, but it's a trick play, but it doesn't work. It's Xander Natom, and he's brought down for a loss. Natom does have a rushing touchdown this year, but that that one does not work. And so it goes for -2. Nevertheless, Xander and Tom so excited about seeing him and Bryce Sabunk together in their senior seasons next year. Three receivers now to the left, one to the right, and now screen pass is complete. Um, and he's past the 15, past the 20. That's the Tom there. So it's going to be about 3rd and 4. Let's see where they mark him. So they give him credit for 9, bringing up 3rd and 2. That's the Tom's fourth reception of the game. He has a touchdown, the only touchdown of the game. A very important 3rd and 3 here. Now handoff to McGill, and he's brought down for a loss. McGill had 4 on his first carry, but he loses a little bit on that. So the Quakers apparently will punt. Brought down for 3 there. Tucker Mitchell, the punter, standing on the 5. It's a high punt, and it is fielded just inside the 50, right up to the 45, to the 40, about the 38. Killed in English there on the return. So the Grizzly Cubs are getting their best field position of the night, and they need it. They have no earned first downs. They have no earned first downs. They did get one on the last possession on that pass interference call. So 8:04 to go now. Grizzly Cubs starting at their 42 receivers to each side. Lucky to only be down 7-0. Snap. Betts pressured. He throws up, and it's incomplete. He's going after Works. So 2nd and 10 now for the Grizzly Cubs, and even 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, and even 20 minutes to go in the game. Plainfield 5-1, Franklin 3-3. Though all 3 losses came by 1 possession. Three receivers now to the right, one to the left. And now the receiver taunt going right as well. And now it's and now he got a screen pass, and he gets up for about the first down. That was Bone Steel. He got the only other. Well, they give him credit for 9. Braden Bone Steel. Bone Steel has 2 receptions for 20 yards. Now bringing up 3rd and 1 at the 31. And now fakes the handoff. And now, it's an incomplete pass, bringing up 4th and 1. He was going for Bone Steel again. So a very critical 4th and 1 for the Grizzly Cubs, their best field position of the game. This is the closest they've come by quite a bit. 7:23 to go. They only trail 7-0. Very lucky. So now Bone Steel and Bowker out to the left. 2 other receivers to the right. Taunt, the running back. Betts takes it, hands off there, but we're right on. No, he fakes it and he goes forward himself, but he's stopped nevertheless. All right, good fake off to Taunt, but then Betts. I think he's. I don't think he even got back to the line of scrimmage. I think they got him down for a 1-yard loss. Nevertheless, the Quakers take over on downs. So yeah, that will be a 1-yard loss there by Grayson Betts, the senior quarterback for Franklin. Quakers take over now, first and 10 at their own 32, 7:16 to go. In the third quarter with a 7-point lead. Let's go, boys. Now they give it to Starnes, and he gets up for about 4 or 5. I believe that's Starnes' first carry of the half. 7:05 to go in the third quarter. They give him credit for 4. Starnes has been relatively contained, and now we've got an injury here. We have a Franklin player lying down on his back. He's sitting up. I can't see his number from my vantage point. Liam, I think the lights of the Golden Arches are out. I cannot. We can usually see them. Oh, okay. No. Okay. Well, I know it's there. It's just usually we can see it. Okay. I think I see it a little bit now. Oh well. So it's our usual post game tradition to go to McDonald's after all these Plainfield home games, and usually after a road game we find one. And there's usually in nearly every high school we play out on the road. There's usually a McDonald's close by as well. So anyway, 2 receivers each side now. Starts the running back Sabankin shotgun. 2nd and 6 for the Quakers at their own 36. 7-1 to go in the third quarter. Plainfield leading 7-0. Hand off to no, yeah, hand off to Starnes again. He's up for about another 3 or 4. It's going to be 3rd and short. Starnes not likely to become the school's all-time leading rusher tonight. Still over 150 yards away. Give him another 4. Well, he's now by my count he's 139 behind. Um, for behind Zane Fakes for the all-time school lead. So 3rd and 2 now for the Quakers. 6:28 to go in the third quarter. 2 receivers to each side. Very big play for the Franklin defense. And now, oh no, they stopped him again. So no first down for the Quakers. Oh no. And now the punting unit coming on. We could do a fake, of course. I don't think we will as they bring Starnes down for 1. Wow. Franklin has a very pesky defense. There's no way they should be in this game now, and yet here we are in the last quarter and a half, and they only trail by 7. Nice snap, but Mitchell gets it, and it takes a good a long Quakers bounce inside the 25 up to about the 20. So about a 43-yard punt down at about the 18, which is good because Franklin is Franklin does not have an earned first down in this whole game. So your Quakers, the defense has held up their end of the bargain tonight. It's been an outstanding defensive effort. The Grizzly Cubs take over 5:30 to go in the third quarter, trailing 7-0 at their own 18. And now near a near interception, the receiver slipped, and the Quakers nearly got it. Boy, that would have been a good break, but nevertheless, Betts has only completed 4 of 10 passes for 25 yards. Second and 10 now for the Grizzly Cubs at their own 18. Corey Taunt, the leading rusher for the Grizzly Cubs. I have him only 13 for 13, only 1 yard of rush in this game. Unfortunately, Plainfield's averaging less than 1 point per possession, which is why we still haven't pulled away yet. So two receivers to each side. Taunt, the running back. Betts takes the snap, and now he throws up the middle, and it's complete to Wirtz, and he's got about 12 yards there. He caught it down on the ground. So the first time that the Grizzlies have gotten an earned first down in this game. Picks up 10 there. So first and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs. They're throwing 28, two receivers each side. And now, he threw to a Taunt. It looked to me like it might have gone backwards, but the officials the officials are ruling it went forward. So it's an incomplete pass, bringing up second and 10. Second and 10 now for the Quakers at their own 28. And now throws very deep. It's nowhere close to, and yeah, he overthrew his receiver by, I believe he's going for Wirtz, overthrew him by at least 5 yards. But I understand the desperation, though, to get something going offensively for the Grizzly Cubs in the last 5 minutes now of the third quarter, with only one earned first down in the whole game. Third and 10 now. Um, Franklin at their own 28, so the Quakers one stop away from getting the ball back with a chance to finally take that elusive two-possession lead. Same formation, and now Betts, he's under pressure. He goes way back. He's now he gets rid of it. He gets rid of it. I have Betts only I have Betts only 5 for 14 in the game. I have him 5 for 14 for 35 yards. Okay, there's a flag on the play. Ineligible man down. The Quakers decline the penalty. So it'll be fourth and 10 for the Grizzly Cubs at their own 28. They finally get they finally get an earned first down on that 10-yard pass from Betts to Drew Wirtz. But now now a punt that is a low snap, but he gets it away. White gets it around the 33, brings it up to the 35, 40, 45, 50. Now dives up to close to the 45. So the Quakers, their 10th possession, 10th possession. Um, um, Only one has produced points, but we still have a 7-0 lead, nearly 2/3 of the way through this game. So now we've got Ty White lining up to the left, two receivers to the right. Starnes in there at running back, takes the snap. Sabank throws deep down the right side for not for the Tom. He's got it. Oh no, he dropped it. He dropped it. He dropped it. Oh, he had it and it just didn't get the grip. Oh no. Oh, it's nice to see him take the chance. It's nice to see the boldness there. So the Quakers, second and 10 at the Franklin 46, leading 7-0. So White and Natom lined up to the right, one other receiver to the left. Starnes the running back, and now Starnes takes it, and he's past the 45, past the 40, and he dives his way up just shy of the first down. Starnes closing in on 100 yards for the game. That was his 20th carry by my count. Give him credit for 8, bringing up 3rd and 2. And now a handoff there to Starnes. He's got the first down and a little more. All right, so we move the chains. About another 4 for Starnes there. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter now. Four yards there by Starnes. I have him 21 for 92. First and 10 for the Quakers at the Franklin 34. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. And now screen pass over to Starnes. He's got it at the 35, 30. And now it looked to me, well, that was close to a face mask, but they didn't call it. But he got about 7 yards on that pass, nevertheless, from Sabank. So bring up second and short. Give him credit for 6 on that one. Barnes now, by my count, does have 100 all-purpose yards in this game. 2 receptions for a total of 12 yards. Each one went for 6. So second and 4 at the 28 now. Now a fake. No, they give it to Starnes, and he gives it up for about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. I thought he had faked it to Starnes. Then he faked it to Natom, but I realized Starnes had it. So they have Starnes credit for 3. I have him 22 for 95 now. So he has over 100 all-purpose yards after failing to get that for the first time all season last week. So he came very close at 98. So okay, now they say now at 2 yards instead of 3 on that last game. So it's 3rd and 2 now. 3 receivers to the left, one to the right. Fakes the handoff to Starnes. Screen pass. Oh, it's just the timing is off. Going after D'Amato, which would have been his first reception of the evening. Devin D'Amato is a junior for the Quakers. We got him coming back next year. We have most of this offense coming back next year. Starnes is the big absence. The big question mark for next year's team is what are we going to do at the running back position? So now the Quakers going for it on 4th and 2 at the Franklin 26. 2 receivers to the left, one to the right. Sabank throws, and did he make it? Did he get the? Did he get both? Did he make the catch and get a foot down in bounds? Yes, he did. Beers got it. Wow, I didn't think he had it. So that's wow, very big play for the Quakers. Give him 5 on that one. Here's his second reception. Both of them have gone for 5. So first and 10 now for the Quakers at the Franklin 21. 3 receivers to the left, one to the right. And now Sabank rolls left, and he gets rid of it. He gets rid of it. Sabank has not thrown real well. Sabank has not thrown Sabank has not thrown real well tonight. He completed only 15 of 36 last week, only 12 of 23 by my count tonight. We got a flag. Let's see what that's all about. An eligible man downfield. So we'll replay the down. All right. First and 15 now for the Quakers at their own 26. At the Franklin 26, excuse me now. Hand off to Starnes. He's got some around the right side, and he's knocked out of bounds after picking up about 4. Springfield's 10th possession of the game. Only one of the first 9 produced points, but those were the only points of the game. So second and 11 now for the Quakers after the 4 yards by Starnes there. And now we've got offsides against Franklin. So second and 11 becomes second and 6. So the Quakers move into the red zone again. Thanks to Liam for bringing me a few more slices of pizza. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now Sabak throws into the end zone. Touchdown. All right. Xander to Tom. He has both touchdowns tonight. That one coming from 17 yards. That puts Sabank over 100 yards in the air. 16th touchdown of the season versus 4 interceptions. So still 4-1 touchdown interception ratio. That's Tom now with 5 receptions for 39 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. Extra point now. Edwards is up and it is good. So with 131 to go here in the quarter, that's the first. That's only the second score of the game. The first in more than 2 quarters worth of action. Um, both scores Sabank to Natam, first for 17, first for 8, then for 17, and your score now, um, Franklin, Franklin. I'm sorry, Plainfield 14, Franklin 0. God, this has been a mind-numbing game. I'm sorry, it's been just so frustrating. You know, all the missed opportunities, but the Quakers did come through there. On their 10th possession of the game, third of the second half. Is that all that was left? Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised there's any pizza left here. You know, usually the press box pizza's gone. Um, I'd say like well before halftime now. Liam said there's still a little bit more left, so that's good to see. And now an onside kick by the Quakers, and I think we got it. I think we got it. Did we? Yes, yes, yes. All right. That's the Quakers. That's the Quaker spirit. All right. Let's just put this one away. And really, with Franklin having barely moved the ball at all tonight, a 2 possession lead is pretty safe, but a 3 possession lead would be just about insurmountable, especially late in the third quarter. All right. So now the Quakers take over just inside their own territory at the 49. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Sabak fakes the handoff to Starnes. Throws deep for Beers. Oh, he had both hands on it, just didn't get the grip. Oh man, this place would have come apart if he hit that. If he had completed that one. Second and 10 now, still in good shape. Overall, I'll hold that thought. So two receivers now to the left, one to the right. Gives it to Starnes this time, past the 50, but he's tripped up and only gets two or three. That should have put him over 100 by the for the game. Give him credit for two, so I have him 24 for an even 100 yards, which would put him 120 behind Zane Fakes for the all-time school lead. So he likely will not break it tonight, probably next week. If not, barring injury, certainly 2 weeks from tonight in the home finale, regular season finale against Martinsville. So now under a minute to go in the third quarter, two receivers to the left, one to the right, two running backs now. Sabak throws up the middle, and it's incomplete. So bring it 4th and 8. I'd imagine we would, yeah, he was going for Vanderbush. I'd imagine we'll just punt here. No sense in taking the chance of giving Franklin the ball in good field position when they're down 14-0 and have only one earned first down on the game. Disappointment after the onside kick. And if there's no more scoring in this game, this will be the lowest of the lowest scoring of the 100. And if there's no more, if there's no more, if there's no more, if there's no more scoring in this game, it will be the lowest scoring varsity game I've ever commentated out of 147. The previous low was and then the punt here bounces inside the 30 and now takes a good Plainfield bounce inside the 5. We might get him down at the 1 again, and we do. All right. So a 48-yard punt there by Tucker Mitchell. He's gotten two down to the 1 tonight. All right. All right. So 28.6 seconds to go in the third quarter. Plainfield 14, Franklin 0. But anyway, the lowest scoring varsity football game I've ever commentated out of 147. It was in the 2017 playoffs, only 15 total points scored when Fishers beat Hamilton Southeastern 9-6. I think we'll get past that tonight. I think there will be at least one more score in this game, but it's no guarantee the way things have gone. So now Betts throws deep, and it's nowhere close. He was going for bone break or bone steel, excuse me, bone steel. Braden Bone Steel. Sorry about that. I've got to check up the origin of that name. That's a new one to me. Well, I think Franklin is just desperate now. 23.7 seconds to go. So the scoreboard reads 237 since there's no decimal point. It looks like 237, the room in The Shining at the Overlook Hotel. And we've got a flag here, and it looks like it's going to be offsides against the Quakers. So second, so they move it from the 1 to the 6. I am obsessed with The Shining. It's the greatest movie of all time. I quote it daily as part of my normal vocabulary. And a lot of people like in my family, they've memorized a lot of the dialogue that I quote all the time. So now once again, taunt. He picks up just a little bit. We've stopped him dead in his tracks throughout the game. So we'll bring up 3rd and 4 there. He picks up one, and that will be it. So your Plainfield Quakers, 12 minutes away from their 6th win of the season. They lead the Franklin Grizzly Cubs 14-0 here on audiosportsonline.com. We'll be back with the thrilling conclusions after these words from our sponsors. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you will support them. They are Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Canal Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate Coach P. Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones and the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone Julia Berberich, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, your Plainfield Quakers have had a very mixed performance, but they've done enough to take a 14-0 lead over the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. Franklin now has the ball 3rd and 4 at their own 7 um, as we start the fourth quarter. The Grizzly Cubs have struggled offensively all night. They have only one earned first down. They also got another on a penalty. So 3 receivers out to their right. Corey Taunt, the running back. Grayson Betts in shotgun, takes it, drops back, and we're trying to get the safety. Yeah, we got him for no, he fumbled. He fumbled. What did they say? He was about to, get. He was about to be tackled for the safety, and then it looked like. So let's see what the call is. So intentional grounding in the end zone. That is a safety. That's a safety. So your Plainfield Quakers 2 more points, first safety of the season. God, I don't know when there's. It's been quite a few years since Plainfield got a safety that I remember. Man, I don't even remember when the last one was. Nevertheless, um, we don't quite have a 2 possession lead. There'll be a free kick from the 20. Franklin could tie with 2 touchdowns and 2 successful 2-point conversions, but that's very unlikely. And now unsportsmanlike conduct against Franklin. So I guess that will they assess that on the free kick? Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna have the distance to the goal, so it'll instead of the 20, they will free kick from the 10. Nevertheless, the Quakers will get the ball, and any score will just about put this one away. Um, so now this will not be the lowest scoring varsity game I've ever commentated. So the lowest scoring is 15, like I said. Now this one is we have 16 points scored in this game. Fortunately, all 16 by Plainfield. Um, the Quakers finishing relatively strong compared to the earlier quarters. I mean, they're up 16-0, so obviously they've done some things right. They just, I mean, this should be a running clock game by now. Franklin's a, this Franklin team is not very talented, but they're very pesky, and you expect that from Chris Cole. Um, he won a state championship, a 3A state championship back in 2014 at Tri West. And he's greatly improved the Franklin program. They're still not great. He's made them consistent middle of the pack, mid state conference team after they were, you know, pretty bad for a long time. They had 20, and now right returns it to about the Franklin 40. But yeah, I mean Franklin had they had 22 consecutive seasons of 500 or worse. They finished at 500 5 times, had 17 losing seasons. Plainfield was 20. Plainfield was 20-2 versus Franklin in those years. Then Franklin won 3 out of 4 from 2019 to 2022. Now the Quakers apparently going to win their 3rd in a row in the series to move up to 32-11 all time. So now one receiver at each side, 2 running backs. Handoff to McGill this time. And this time he gets up for a few positive yards, at least 3, maybe 4. McGill with his 3rd carry of the evening. I'm really hoping that he will emerge as as a clear number 2 running back for this playoff stretch. 2 regular season games after tonight, and they give him credit for 4 on that one. I think one of our keys to a deep playoff run is getting a solid number 2 running back. who we can get in there to supplement Starnes. So two receivers to the right, two running backs, hand off to Starnes now. And and he breaks through at the 25, 20, 50. Yes, Luke Starnes, 37 yards for the touchdown. All right, so the Quakers finishing strong. That should pretty well put it away. All right. That's by far his longest gain of the evening. 11. That's his 11th rushing touchdown, 12th overall touchdown on the season for Starnes. And now he's only 83 yards by my count from um away from Zane Fake's all-time school record. A slight chance he could do it tonight. I hope he does. More than likely, it'll be next week at Whiteland. And Edwards on the extra point is up and good. Oh man! So a lot of Quakers fans here, um, breathing a lot easier after the Quakers finally getting things together after only one score on their first 9 possessions, including squandering at least 6 trips inside the 40. The Quakers now 2 touchdowns on their last 2 possessions and a safety in between. So what was 7-0 now is a um, much more dominant 23-0. Man, well, the Quakers are finishing strong. Now next week at Whiteland, then 2 weeks from tonight, back here against Martinsville. I want to see 48 good minutes both nights. I want to see this team play for 48 minutes each of the next 2 weeks, like they plan to have a deep tournament run. I want no points left on the field. No points left on the field. No missed opportunities. So now kickoff there by Edwards takes it at about it's taken about the 9, bobbled, but then brought up to about the 20. So Franklin trying to finish the game on a positive note. They've gotten virtually nothing going on offense all game long. 9:01 your time of day. Let's see if I can get some other scores here. So I have updates for the other 3 mid-state conference games. I will give them to you when we have a long enough dead ball. So now Franklin, 1st and 10 at their own 20, trailing 23-0. Hands off to Taunt, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. He moves over to the left, gets a little bit of room, but only gets about a yard. 10:39 to go in the game. Plainfield 23, Franklin 0. Conte 15 rushes, only 16 yards. Two receivers to the left, or to the right. One running back gives it to Taunt again. This time he's got a hole, and he gets about his longest gain of the evening, about 5 or 6. And he pushes his way up. The officials don't blow it dead, and his some of his offensive mates push him forward. And if they don't, they let's see where they mark him down. So they're marking him down past the first yard marker. They give him 12 on that. So now 16 for 28 for Taunt, who came into the game averaging about 6 yards a carry, but is not even averaged 2 a carry tonight. Good effort there. Only the second earned first down of the game by Franklin. 1st and 10 now at their own 34. 3 receivers to the right now. Now Taunt gets it again, and this time he's got another 5 or 6. So Taunt finally hitting his stride, but it's probably too little too late. Give him 6 on that one. So his final stats from the game are going to apparently look quite a bit better. So three receivers to the right now. Hand off there to Taunt again. And this time he's up. He might have the first down. But, the Quakers at this, I think he's okay. They gave him credit for three. So we'll bring up 3rd and 1 for Franklin at throwing 43. But the Quakers at this point with a 23-0, they can afford to just let him have all the, 4, 5, 6 yard gain, 4 or 5, 6 yard gains as long as they, keep, keep the ball in bounds, keep the clock moving. And now we got a flag here with 8:40 to go. All right, well, let's look at these other mid-state conference scores. Um, so that's going to be another first down. Offsides against Plainfield. So that'll bring the ball up to the 48. 40 to go. Plainfield 23, Franklin 0. The Grizzly Cubs trying to get a score here to finish on a positive note. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. And now hand off to Todd, but this time they bring him down for a loss. After he had, 3 or 4 good rushes in a row, I guess they went to the well one too many times. 8:15 to go and counting in the game. Plainfield will improve to 6-1. Franklin will drop to 3-4 and drop to 1-4 in mid-state conference play as Taunt loses 4. They're bringing up 2nd and 14 for the Grizzly Cubs to throw in 45. Under 8 minutes now. So two receivers to the right, one to the left. Taunt gets it, and this time he gets up for maybe 2. That's his 20th carry. And it's interesting that they keep on giving him the ball. Maybe it's a tribute to how limited they are offensively. The Taunt, I have him 20 for 35 now after picking up 2 there, which will bring up 3rd and 12, 7:30 to go in the game now. 9:06 your time of day. Plainfield will visit Whiteland next week. The receivers now to the right, one to the left. So the Betts drops. This time he throws, and he's got a catch for the first down around the 40. It's going to a complete pass to Wirtz for 12 yards there. Drew Wirtz with his second reception. The first one was for 12, for 10. That was for 12. 1st and 10 now in Plainfield territory at the 41, 7:12 to go. No snap, and he gets it. Now throws up the middle, and he's got a completion for about 6 or 7. That was to Bone Steel. Give him credit for 6. Well, Franklin compiling some offensive yards late in the game when they're pretty well out of it. 2nd and 4 now at the Plainfield 35. 6:42 to go in the game. Plainfield leading 23-0, going for their first shutout of the season. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. And now a handoff now to Taunt, and he does have the first down, maybe a little more. So give Taunt credit for 5 on that one. Bringing up 1st and 10 at the Plainfield 30. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Betts in shotgun. Taunt to the running back. Takes the handoff, drops back, throws up the middle now, and it's throws into good coverage, and it's incomplete. Going for Bone Steel. Ty White broke it up. He was going for his 3rd interception of the season. Um, eighth of his career for the sophomore. Yes, he had five last year as a sophomore, five last year as a freshman. Under half, we're past the halfway mark in the fourth quarter now. 5:56 to go, second and 10 at the 30. Two receiver to the right, one to the left. Hand off to Taunt. This time there, no, it fakes the handoff, and Betts takes it on the left side, and he picks up about 6 or 7. That'll bring up third and short for the Grizzly Cubs. Picks up 6 there. But even if Franklin does score and takes away our shutout, they've used up so much of the they've consumed so much of the clock on the drive anyway, and they would still need 2 more scores. So now 3 receivers to the right. Taunt, the running back. Taunt takes the handoff, and he's got the first down. He finds through on the left side inside the 15. I think he made it inside the 10, and I believe that's his longest gain of the evening. Well, they said he made it all the way down to the 4. I couldn't tell because it was way on the other side of the field. I couldn't tell, how long he stayed in bounds. So now Franklin looks like they're poised to um, finally get their first score here. Plainfield's last shutout was week um, week 5 last week, 28-0 over Greenwood, and now hands off to Taunt, who takes it up, and I believe he does have it, and he's got it. So Corey Taunt, 64 yards, about 50 of them coming on this last drive, scoring a touchdown, taking away the shutout. Plainfield actually had 2 shutouts in 3 games last year, excuse me. 42-0 over Mooresville in week 3, then 28-0 over Greenwood in week 5. Nearly get it tonight. And now the extra point is blocked. The extra point is blocked. So and that's important. That's significant because that means it's still a 3 possession lead, even if Franklin got 2 more touchdowns and 2 more successful 2 point conversions, that would be 16 more points, and it would Plainfield would still be leading 23-22. So that usually a missed extra point not a big deal. That one was. Well, not really, because it's unlikely Whiteland would have come close to doing that anyway. But it makes their very slim chance even much slimmer. So now let's take a look at what's going on around the rest of the Mid-State Conference. Um, Decatur Central continues their onslaught. They beat Greenwood 69-7. Hey, we held Decatur Central to 37. They got nearly twice as the last 4 games. Decatur Central's gotten 75, 73, and 69, and we held them by comparison to 37. So yeah, it shows we're better than a lot of teams. And then Martinsville has beaten Perry Meridian 46-21. We play Martinsville here 2 weeks from tonight in our final regular season game. And then finally, Whiteland closing out a win over Mooresville. The score in that one, 35-7. We visit Whiteland next week. That should be a very, very, very close game. We beat the Warriors 32-7 last year, breaking a 7-game losing streak to them, and they'd also won 13 of the last 14 in the series. They're going to want to get back at us. They started off slow this season, but are starting to get stronger, as Darren Fisher teams typically do. So we better be ready for them. And now an onside kick, and I boy, it hit one of our guys, and Franklin is saying yes, they do. Now there's still a 3 possession deficit, so this isn't a disaster, but it's disappointing. Oh, okay. So it's coming. It's offsides. So that negates the recovery. All right. 5:01 remaining in this game. Plainfield 23, um, Franklin 6. All right. Well, now another. And there's another flag they were trying this time. Not exactly an onside kick, but a very short kick. And there's another flag. Not sure. I'm not sure what this one is. Let's see. 9:15 your time of day. 23-6 your score. Plainfield about to move to 6-1. This will be their fourth consecutive season with at least 6 wins. It will be their third consecutive. This game will this game will clinch their third consecutive winning season. 3 years ago in the sectional championship season, they were 6-6. And another short kick, and we got it. And one thing I think a lot of people forget: you can fair catch a kickoff if it hasn't um, if it hasn't hit the ground. So now the Quakers taking over with 4:59 to go, right around the 50. So Sabank's still in there. I think we want to finish this game on a positive note. We got starters still in the game. Starnes is still in there. McGill in there. So they're still going for the two running back formation. Two receivers out to the left. I think Coach Bless wants us to finish on a good note offensively. And now they give it to Starnes, but they're right on top of him. They bring him down actually for a slight loss. Barnes loses two there. I still have him 26 for 135. Next week, he will likely become Plainfield's all time leading rusher. I wouldn't write it in stone because Whiteland, they have been known to, you know, clamp down on our offense pretty successfully, but we'll see. Two receivers now to the right, two running backs now. Sabank throws over to Starnes. It puts a little too much on it. I think Starnes caught it, but out of bounds, bringing up 3rd and 12. Sabank, I have him completed only half of his passes, 13 for 26. Oh, did he get it? They said complete. It didn't look to me like. I mean, because it was by the sideline, and there were several Quakers standing between me and Starnes' feet. I couldn't tell for sure, but right now it's roughing the pass. So roughing the passer anyway. So they're moving up to the 37. And now we've got a flag before the snap. Offsides against Franklin, so another 5 for the Quakers. Already leading 23-0, 4:02 to go. Luke Starnes, by my count, over 150 all-purpose yards. 1st and 5 now at the 32. And off to McGill. And he's got a first down past the 25, past the 20, inside the about the 16 or so. So McGill, I believe that's the second longest carry of his career. He did have a 33, I believe, 33-yard touchdown against Anderson in the playoffs last year. Give him 15 on that, so it'll be 1st and 10 at the 17. And now Sabank drops back, throws into the end zone. He's got a touchdown. I believe that was Natom again. Yeah, Natom. Wow. So Xander Natom, 11th receiving touchdown of the season, third of the game. Also had a rushing touchdown, so he has 12 touchdowns overall. Six receptions for 56 yards and three touchdowns for the junior. So excited about what the two guys are going to do a year from now when they're seniors. And Edwards on the extra point is good, making him 4 for 4 tonight. 24 for 28 on the season, making 6 out of every 7. That's pretty good. Hopefully, he'll do it better next year as a senior. And the Quakers have now opened up a 30-7 lead. They are finishing strong as I hoped they would. So the 3 touchdown passes tonight between Sabank and Tom go for 8, 17, and again for 17. And it's a 30-6. So I'll tell you though, if you look at the score now, you're not going to, you would never guess that it's, that this was a close game, you know, until not even a quarter ago when it was just 7-0. So I'm glad the Quakers are finishing strong. And in a lot of ways, I was hoping they would take out the starters and put in the reserves, get them some game action. But I'm glad that the, starters are finishing strong. So deep kick by Edwards, fielded inside the 10, up to the 10, 15, 20, 25. He brought down right around the 25. 3:19 to go for Franklin to try to salvage something out of this game. They got their first score on their last possession, a 4-yard rush by Corey Taunt. There we go. 3:19 to go in the game. Here receivers left, one to the right, and we got a flag here before the snap. There was some movement at the line. Receivers to the left, and then it's a low snap. Taunt takes it over to the left side. He's got some room past the 40. He's got the first down and more. So, so Taunt is, actually piling up some decent numbers here late in the game, but yeah, he was really stuffed for about the first 3 quarters. He had 14 carries 14 yards coming into this quarter. He has 64. He had 14 yards coming into this quarter. He has 64 in the quarter and a touchdown. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Give it to Taunt again, and he's up for about another 5 or 6. Three minutes to go now in the game. Give him 6 there. Sometimes statistics on final scores can be misleading, and that's the case here. I mean, this was a close game until just about a quarter ago. So now 3 receivers to the right. 1 running back. Taunt gets it. He's got the first down and more. Gets about another 6 there. 23 to go. We have another six, so I have Taunt now 26 for 90. But like I said, with this kind of lead, all we have to do is just take away the big play. And even then, the big play won't hurt us too much. I just don't want us to get into any sloppy habits. Now, Taunt again takes it over and he gets out of bounds after a pickup of about four. Taunt wears number 41, a fairly unusual number for a running back. Part of the charm of high school ball, things that are unconventional. So the clock stops with 1:57 to go as Taunt gets out of bounds. 2nd and 5 now at the 39. So he actually might get 100 yards here, believe it or not. Snap, takes the handoff. Now Betts throws deep down the left side. He's got a man open. Did he make the catch? Incomplete. Well, I just got an Instagram notification that Ethan Ellis of the Quakers has posted a new story. He might have posted it hours ago. I'm not sure. But Ellis had a lot of great moments for the Quakers last year as a sophomore. Looked really promising. Um, I think he's injured right now, but look forward to him coming back. He was a very promising wide receiver, and certainly it'd be great to have him back at the Arsenal. And now fake handoff. Now fake there by Betts, and he stays alive, stays on his feet, gets about 4 yards. Going to be fourth and short. It looks like 32 to go. So yeah, Betts picks up three there. 8 for 17 on the game for him. Two receivers now to the right, one to the left. Now Betts throws, and it is nowhere close to anyone, incomplete. And now Plainfield's going to run out the clock. 109 to go. Looked like he wasn't sure what he was going to do there. Anyway, and now my son Liam going out there to take a picture of the scoreboard to get for his Instagram story that he posts for every game, every Quakers game. So Plainfield will take over. 109 to go. Both teams have three timeouts, but it's unlikely any of them will be used. The Quakers lead 30-6. They overcome their first loss of the season and a slow start tonight to get a solid victory here in mid-state conference play. Actually, there's a handoff there to McGill, and he gets no, not McGill. Sorry, that is Kayvon Miu, a senior who got his first career touchdown a couple weeks ago against Greenwood. Picks up three there. Good to see him getting a little action here on his senior day. Although keep in mind this is not the Plainfield's last regular season home game. That will be 2 weeks from tonight. I assume they move senior day up because of fall break. And Sabonk Niels, and that is it. So your Plainfield Quakers, a very sluggish, concerning start, but they do finish strong and get out of here with a very solid 30-6 win over the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. We'll be back with a recap and a look ahead to next week's showdown at Whiteland after these final words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. Broadcast of Plainfield Quakers. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you will support them. They are Frigid Frog and New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate, Real Estate Coach P, Chris Pearson, Selma Jones, and the Stewart Home Group, Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, and BGW Construction and Legacy Motorsports. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes at Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield for a final time tonight, where your Plainfield Quakers have had a mixed game that nevertheless produced a solid win, 30-6 over the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. Um, the Quakers started off with more missed opportunities than anything else on their first 7 drives. Well, the first seven through the 7 drives. Well, let me back up. Um, they had 7 first half possessions, all of which advanced inside the Franklin 40, but only one of which produced points. They had 4 turnovers on downs, um, a an interception, and a punt. The only exception was their third possession, um, on which Bryce Sabank threw an 8-yard touchdown pass to Xander Natam with 2:23 to go in the first quarter. Ethan Edwards was good on the extra point, making it 7-0. On the flip side, Plainfield played outstanding defense, holding Franklin to only 35 yards of total offense and 0 first downs and 0 points in the first half. So Plainfield did lead 7-0 at the half. And then after both teams still were offensively sluggish in the third quarter, though Plainfield doing better, the Quakers finally opened up a two possession lead with 131 to go when Sabank and Tom connected for another touchdown, this time from 17 yards. Then on Franklin's ensuing possession, um, with 11:53 to go in the fourth quarter, um, I'm sorry, well, Franklin's 2 possessions later, Franklin took over on after a punt at the 1, and then quarterback Grayson Betts was sacked in the end zone with 11:53 to go in the fourth quarter for a safety, giving Plainfield a 16-0 lead. And then the Quakers on the ensuing possession um, extended the lead when Luke Starnes, who had been relatively contained for much of the game, broke through for a 37-yard touchdown rush. Edwards was good on the extra point, making it 23-0. Then finally, with 5:01 to go, Franklin avoided the shutout when Corey Taunt rushed 4 yards for a touchdown. The extra point, however, was blocked, so Plainfield retained a 3 possession lead, 23-7. And then with 3:26 to go, Sabank and Tom connected for their third touchdown of the game, again from 17 yards, bringing us to our final score of 30-6. A look at the individual statistics, first of all, for Plainfield. Bryce Sabank, a mixed game, not great, but better than last week, where he was only 15 of 36. Tonight, a better 15 of 26. He completed 15 of 26 passes for 102 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His leading receiver, of course, is Andrew Natam, 6 receptions, 56 yards, and 3 touchdowns, followed by Austin Ward with 4 receptions for 30 yards. Luke Starnes, 4 for 15, and Mason Beers, 2 for 10. On the ground, Luke Starnes had 26 rushes for 135 yards and a touchdown. By my count, we'll see how this compares with the official statistics, but if my count is correct, then he is only 85 yards behind Zane Fakes for the all-time leading rushing record at Plainfield. He should get it next week. If not, barring injury, he certainly will get it 2 weeks from tonight, right here against Martinsville. Um, then also Corin McGill had some nice moments on the ground. 4 rushes for 20 yards. Bryce Sabank, 2 for 17. Justin Meyer, 1 for 9. That was on a fake punt attempt that was nearly successful. Kayvon Miu, 1 for 3. And Xander Natam had 1 rush for -2 yards. Meanwhile, for Franklin, quarterback Grayson Betts, not a whole lot tonight. He completed 7 of 20 passes for He completed 7 of 20 passes for 53 yards. Um, Braden Boomsteel led the way in receptions. He had 3 for 26, followed by Drew Wirtz with 2 for 22. Cole Boker, the team's leading team's leading receiver on the season, only 1 for 3, and Corey Taunt 1 for 2 on the ground. Taunt rushed 27 times for 95 yards and a touchdown. However, 81 of those yards came in the fourth quarter, as well as the touchdown. And Grayson Betts on the ground, the quarterback, goes 8 for 17. So, in conclusion, um, the big disappointment, obviously, Plainfield's 7 first half possessions, all of which got inside the Franklin 40, but 6 of which produced no points. Like I said, we can't get away with leaving points on the field. We obviously could today, but like I said, we can't leave points on the field if we're going to beat New Palestine or Cathedral in the sectional. I was generally pleased with our second half performance, um, especially about the last 14 minutes where we really finally clicked. Um, we moved the ball well in the first half. We gained over 150 yards, so it's not like we were bad. I mean, we outgained Franklin nearly 5-1 in the first half from scrimmage. We just weren't finishing drives, so I'll give us a C for the first half. I'll give us a B plus for the second half, so a B minus for the game. But these last 2 games are tune up for the playoffs. We've got to start, playing like we've got to stop playing. We have to start playing these next 2 games like we plan to have a deep playoff run. I want to see that all 48 minutes next week at Whiteland, and then all 48 minutes 2 weeks from tonight here against Martinsville. I want for those 96 minutes of football. I want every 96 minutes for us to look like a team that plans to play well into November, make a deep playoff run. And plays like they believe they can beat New Palestine and or Cathedral. We're ranked number 6. Most of the time when you're ranked number 6 in the state of your class, you're the favorite to win your sectional. But unfortunately, of 2 of our other 3 opponents in the sectional, one of them happens to be ranked number 1 in our class, New Palestine. Another one, Cathedral, number 3 in our class. If we get the good fortune of drawing Anderson in the first round like we did last year, that gives us a virtual guaranteed first round win. If not, then we're going to have to beat both Franklin and I'm sorry, both New Palestine and Cathedral. Tall order, but it can be done if we play our A game. So we just have to start. We have to start bringing it all 48 minutes. We did not do that tonight. But we showed over that last 14 minutes or so what we can do when we're in sync, when we're on top of our game, and now we just got to use that to ride into the remainder of the season. So I'm going to try to go. I'm going to try to go home tonight, considering this is 60% glass. I'm going to try to go home tonight and consider this a glass 60% full approach. Um, there was more good than bad in this game. But hopefully we'll have nothing but good from here on out. And from here on out it really starts with these next few days of practice, but officially it starts 1 week from tonight when your Plainfield Quakers go back on the road for the final time in the regular season to visit the currently 12th ranked Whiteland Warriors. Whiteland got off to a slow start this season, losing its opener to Columbus North 49-7. Granted, that is a 6A team. Then they went down to then they came home to play Floyd Central. Got a solid 28. I'm sorry, they got a solid 48-28 win over the Highlanders. Floyd Central, a lot of you might remember, former IU basketball player Pat Graham went there. I know Floyd Central very well because when I was growing up, they were in the Hoosier Hills Conference with my alma mater, Madison. In fact, Pat Graham and I both graduated from high school in 1989, so I saw him play at Madison my junior season. We almost pulled off the upset. We actually took it to overtime. I'll tell you more about that story. I'll tell you more about the game another time. I have a great story about it, but I don't want to get too sidetracked here in the post game segment. Then, anyway, then Whiteland in week 3 they lost to Decatur Central 29-14. So similar results to when we played Decatur Central. Decatur Central beat Whiteland by 15, beat us by 18, so about the same. Then they came home. I'm sorry, then they went on the road and beat Franklin 21-14. We beat Franklin 36, so obviously against that common opponent, we did far better. Then they also went to Perry Meridian and won that one 50-28. We beat Perry Meridian 41-6. So we beat Perry Meridian by 35. Whiteland did by 22. And then Martinsville last week, Whiteland won that one 41-13. And then tonight, let's see if I got a final score here. Yeah, well, it's almost over. Whiteland's leading Mooresville 35-14 in the fourth quarter. Appropriately, that was the score that we beat Mooresville by 4 weeks ago. So generally against common opponents, we've done overall slightly better. Um, we beat Franklin and Perry Meridian worse. Um, we beat Mooresville by the same that Whiteland's beating them by now, and Whiteland did slightly better against Decatur Central. So certainly a winnable game. The only thing that makes me nervous about it, assuming that Whiteland holds on to win tonight, that will be their fourth consecutive win, moving them to 5-2. And Whiteland does have a tradition under Darren Fisher of playing well later in the season, so we better be ready for it. You go back a couple of years ago; they'd gotten off to a slow start. Um, we entered the game at 6-1. I think they were I think they were 3-4 entering the game. But then they opened the game with a surprise onside kick, recovered. Then they pulled off another surprise onside kick against us in the third quarter, recovered that one, um, and ended up running 28 more plays than we did, and that was really the difference of the game. And then when we had a chance to make it a one position game, I believe it was late in the third quarter, we lost a fumble at the one. So the game turned on those 3 plays, and of course, I after we lost the fumble at the one, I gave my legendary call of "Gosh frigging darn it," because I was thinking about what's the strongest thing I could say that would be appropriate to say right now, and that was it. So, you know, anyway, um, we've got to be ready for them. Whiteland this year, like usual, it's a they're a heavily rushing team. They're about a 5-1 rush pass team, um, but they have a heck of a rushing offense that we better be ready for. Um, and so certainly we held Whiteland's top rusher Corey Taunt to 14 yards through 3 quarters before he got 81 in the fourth quarter tonight. Whiteland's leading rusher of the season is Jordan Palmer. He is a senior and a very big college prospect. Coming into tonight, 82 carries, 607 yards. That's 7.4 a carry and 8 touchdowns. So he is by far the focal point of their offense. A distant second is senior um, Tyree Nolan, who's carries far less, only 19 carries, but 172 yards, so 9 yards a carry. So they don't have the 5-prong rushing attack that they did that got them to the state championship game in Class 5A back in 2022. That was the year that they beat us in the sectional 49-14, or in the regional, excuse me, in the regional after we won the sectional. But nevertheless, obviously a formidable team and likely to move into the top 10 this week after they complete this win over Mooresville tonight. So I hope y'all will get down there to Whiteland. We're supposed to have a high of 72 degrees that day. Very, very warm for week 8. So probably good idea to bring a sweatshirt or jacket in case it gets cold during the game, when the sky goes dark. But Really, I hope we'll fill up the entire visiting bleachers there at Whiteland. Leave early because traffic can get nasty there on I-465 and US 31. But get there if you can and support these kids and let them know you believe in them and that you're cheering them on to finish these last two games of the regular season strong and enter the playoffs playing their absolute best football, which they're going to have to do if they're going to have a chance to win the sectional, beating Cathedral and or New Palestine. So anyway, once again, your final score here tonight at Plainfield. Plainfield 30, Franklin 6. The Quakers rise to 6-1, overcoming the first loss of the season. And the Grizzly Cubs drop to 3-4. Plainfield moves up to 32-11 all time in the series against Franklin and wins their third in a row in the series. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again 1 week from tonight at 6:40 for the pregame show, as your Plainfield Quakers challenge the Whiteland Warriors in Week 8 of the season. Until then, for Audio Sports Online, this is Steve McAtee reminding you there is a difference only you can make.